All I hear is talking, I don't sweat that. If they don't trust me either, I respect that. If she be down the ride, oh, I'll bet that. Ooh.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is JH. How y'all doing, Postal family? Everybody good? Everybody cool? Everybody clean? Everybody crisp? Everybody irie? Not like the rural carriers, which are irate. Just read that in one of my comments. Hey, it's a little late. Got a little company coming over in a little while. I just wanted to know that I'm the best in the world. When she walks through the door, I'ma look at her and tell her it's clobbering time. Somebody gonna know what I'm talking about. Listen, data. Let's talk to the rural carriers. Let's talk to the processing clerks. Let's talk to every single craft. Data is what drives the post office. Data. They keep collecting data on us. We sit here and say that data is not correct. Data is incorrect. They feed in us data that's incorrect. Let me backtrack a little bit. The RCs were aggravated. They got their little statement. Spoke to a young lady the other day. I believe she was the union rep for the RCs. And she pulled out a paper and she was trying to read it off to me, and I got confused. My head got boggled. Number one, I don't understand how you guys get paid. That is crazy. That is ludicrous. Talking about, oh, they didn't pay you guys for the stand-up talks. It all came across as zeros, and they're supposed to pay you guys for each red plum and the every door directs, and they weren't, and they had you guys scanning 4 scans when it was supposed to be 24. Yo, I got my head started hurting when she spoke to me. I don't understand it, the whole pay rate. But what I do know is that from a manager's perspective, they look at that little computer thing that you guys walk around with that you say don't matter. Yes, it matters. It does matter. And the data that you guys feed it is what they go off of. Now, she said, well, no, they don't use this data correctly, and they weren't this and they weren't that. And I listened to her because she sat there for about 30 minutes because somebody told me I should get educated with rural carrier work, and I thought I knew, but I got some more information. My key is to learn, and if I offended anybody, oh well. But nonetheless, I went to go get some information, and she was steady on that. She was like, no, they don't do this, and no, they don't do that. Then I spoke to one of the rural carrier supervisors, and I'm like, yo, you know, what is really going on with these guys? And they kept emphasizing they're not doing the amount of time, and the people that actually did everything by the book got paid correctly, or their routes went up. And then the lady, her argument was, well, we only got 4 hours of training or 2 hours of training when they first gave us the information. And I'm like, what are you talking about, lady? You guys are probably like, what are you talking about, Jay? Real carriers know what I'm talking about. So anyway, long story short, I said, I need to find out where this data goes and who's giving them this data. My homeboy, you know who you are. He said, let me do some research. And I can't, yo, Big Show, you the man, dog. So he passed me some information, and I feel like I need to share this information with you guys, and maybe you can do with it what you want. But the data that is being collected, they say, oh no, it went to the old scanners and never switched over to the new scanner. Who collects all this data? Gray hair. Not the gray hair on my chinny chin. Gray hair. Software. We are proud of our 20+ years of industry experience and the long-standing relationships we have built with our customers. Gray hair unlocks actionable insights from customer data for many of the largest companies throughout the United States, providing increased visibility into vital processes across many parts of an organization to advance a business goal. Since 2000, we have become the leader, consumer, and provider of postal data, processing over 125 billion data points annually. Today, our mission is to enable decision makers, the people sitting up top, with valuable customer insights by turning data into business-ready intelligence. You guys want to know where your data went. It goes to a big company. Some people with, I told you guys before, some nerds sitting up top, accepting all the numbers that you feed them. You guys didn't have to believe me, but it's here. And you probably is gonna get blurred out. Nonetheless, it's called Gray Hair. grayhairsoftware.com. Look them up. The intelligence allows company leaders to make decisions that can significantly improve essential business processes, marketing campaign effectiveness, fraud prevention, customer experience, and mail operations. Oh man. Look, that's just one part of it. So they collect this data and they give this data to people sitting up top. People sitting up top put it in the computer, and the computer says, hey, we can cut costs here, we can cut costs there, we can cut costs here, we can cut costs there. Rural carriers just have a complex way of getting paid. And so I believe they were just the easiest ones to cut the costs with. Now, the other way that they did cut costs was by cutting overtime. Every way that this man is going to cut costs, he's going to try his best. But this is not a new process by far. This, as I clearly just read to you, and again, you can look it up for yourself. These people have been getting fed the data that you and I give them through our scanners. Those scanners are mini computers. If you don't believe me, I just happened to talk to, you know who you are. Thank you very much. And she gave me, let me correct myself. This person gave me some information. It's called deep dives. Now, deep dives, when it applies to carriers and rural carriers and RCAs and ARCs and ABCs and 1, 2, 3, there are emails they send down from upper management from the data that was given to them to the post office with pictures of the mail trucks at locations, asking why they are at a location for a long duration of time, as well as if someone backing up a long distance data. They send a pic down asking why a carrier is backed up the distance, showing the mail truck with a view of the street. Person says, I guess you can say it's on the lines of an on-time tracking. Supervisors can go into to see the, they call it breadcrumbs. We have that for truck drivers, breadcrumbs. We can see, zoom in and see the streets, and a couple people that I've spoken to. I gotta watch what I say on here. All right. Oh, she wrote that to me. We had an in-depth conversation earlier, and she gave me the information. Now, I know that on my personal scanner that I take with me, that I go and I use, just the basic scanner, a PVS scanner, we can use those scanners and we can beep, beep, beep. We scan the stuff that's on the truck. We scan the stuff that's coming off the truck. Easy, no problem. It can go and check 2 days before, 3 days before. If I put in a route number, it will give me the truck that it went on, the contents that went on the truck. It gives the data. The data gets stored in that computer. You think that this billion-dollar company is behind the scenes or behind the times. They are not. If our little phones can track stuff, just imagine what they have tracking us all the time. Again, it is very important that if we are trying to stay ahead of the game, the data that we feed these people has to be on point. And data just doesn't go with scanners. Data goes with time clocks. So if an operation runs on a normal Thursday with 200 people, that's the requirement. But every Thursday, 40 people call out and it continues to operate. You know what that data is going to say? They don't need 200 people. They only need 160 because the data that we feed them, the data. Say, hey man, we doing the same job with less people. The same job. We're only a few minutes behind, but we're doing the same job with less people. Now, we could blame people calling out. We could blame us for doing more work. We could blame the supervisors for stepping in and crossing crafts. We could blame whoever we want, but we can't blame the data that we are feeding this company that hey, I gave you the name. If you want more depth information, don't ask Jay. Call them. Say, hey, hey, cousin brother, brother, friend guy, what do you guys do for the post office, and see if they give you any information. I wouldn't do that, but you have the option to if you're really inquisitive. Now, we can sit here, like I said before, and gripe with each other and argue with each other. But as you clearly see with the rural carriers, you guys had to wait 2 weeks for them just to give you a couple more numbers, and your pay really didn't change. It's not going to change for another 6 months. And that's only because they used back data. Now their back data only went back 6 months or a year or whatever it is. And they go 6 month increment. Well, if you had a half a year here and a half a year there, they're going to put these numbers together. And then the half a year now till another half a year is what they go back on. So it's weird how they put this data together, but nonetheless, it's the data that they are collecting. And they said that the rural carriers demanded to see the data. Hell, I saw one of those sheets that the lady had in her hand, and the average mind cannot dissect that. You got to take a course to understand this stuff. And whether they make it too complex for whatever reason, that's not even relevant to me. What is relevant is that we keep feeding them data saying we can do more with less, or we just can't operate. So if we keep failing, they're going to say, hey, you know what? That place don't fail. Let's get rid of managers. Let's get a new team together. Whatever the case may be, we keep feeding them data. And please remember that the data that we are feeding these people dictates our future. Now, I don't know how much your union reps know about it. Who knows? I know that we have a lot of union reps that fall by the wayside. I spoke about it in my video, and I say, yo, get on that Zoom call or the YouTube thing and watch and see. But I implore any union rep, if you claim that you are a union steward, show up to work. How about that? Go to work. Now, I'm not talking about with my guy. My guy shows up all the time. He's there. But I go to some stations and they don't even have union reps at some stations. And then some stations that have union reps, they don't work. I don't understand it. You there to police basically the contract. You police the contract and make sure the contract is available or being enforced the right way, but you're not there. You're part of the problem. On why management is like, yeah, okay, well, you know what? Your union rep ain't never here anyway. I'm just run over you. Well, if you choose to be a union rep, make sure that you have good intentions, because the union overall is great. Come closer. It's the union representatives that suck. You guys need to step up. This is not everywhere. No. But I have enough family members to know which unions are decent. I know which union reps actually fight for their people. When my son was having issues, he couldn't have his union rep fight for him because his union rep sucked. He had to have a union rep come from 60 miles away that was a fighter. You get what I'm saying? Like, yo, I don't even want to deal with this. And all I'm saying is, if you're in it, do it for the right reason, not so you can skate off of work and then give management a hard time because you just want to be a jerk. You're there for a purpose. You're there to sit there and enforce the contract, right? Make sure the contract is followed. But again, if you're not there or you're just part of the problem, you can't expect anybody to respect you. And I went from one thing to another, but this all goes down to the data. When I walk up to a union rep and I say, hey, what's going on? Now, I got my opinion about my own union rep. There's one thing I cannot say about him is that dude knows his shh. He knows it. He knows that by the back of his hand. This dude knows ins and outs. And I respect him for that. I argue with that mug on a regular basis. But he knows the contract. And when he fights, he will fight. Ish. but he knows the contract. When you got a union rep that's, I don't know, I don't know what's going on, I don't know. You got to sit there and second guess it. Now, I implore the union presidents, because there's a few that watch me, hey, just don't accept people and make them your representatives, because that's your face. And when people start dropping outside by the wayside, just know that it's not because of you, Mr. Union President. It's because of the people that represent what you're supposed. Your local Miss K, she a beast. I wish she was on our team, but she over on the mail handler side. I respect her because as ratchet as her mouth is, she back every bit of it up. Every bit of it up. She got people from different tours that come to her, and I respect that. If you have people, and you don't have to be arrogant, you don't have to be ignorant about it. You just got to be strong and knowledgeable. Learn your contract. That's it. Learn your contract. There's an interpretation for the contract. There's an interpretation for the contract, and the managers have an interpretation of the contract. This is big, wide smorgasbord of bullshit. But back to the data. The person that served me this information, I can't give too much. Big Show, I thank you. He know who he is. He's something like a union dude is himself. And you know, he stand for the people, and I respect him 110%. But again, data don't lie. Okay? They can plug some numbers in here, plug some numbers in here. If you think that's what they're doing, find out for yourself. You got the information now. You know who it is that's feeding the data to the people up top for this thing to go on. But I need you guys to understand, we do this to ourselves. You see me? And people that say, oh, they can't see that. I just explained what it's called, deep diving. There is a term called deep diving. And if they choose to, yo, don't go get your nails done while you a carrier. Don't do it. Don't go hide out for 2 hours and go meet up with other carriers and go get yourself a lunch out by the beach. Don't do it. Because if they do truly want to get you, you would be shocked at the stuff these people can really pull up. It's just a matter of time before they start enforcing it. And when they do, they're going to find a reason to really give us some hell. Nonetheless, this is just a little bit of information. I got to get ready to show this lady that I'm the best in the world. I just talk a lot of trash, right? When it comes to this, I just be little jokes. Don't take that the wrong way. Somebody gonna get offended. But all right, this is JH with another one.